Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. As you probably heard in my previous video, this is the last video in terms of the naming convention for the OHL in 20 channel. It is going to be rebranded to something totally new, totally refreshed. It's all going to be hockey based. We're going to be covering multiple leagues, multiple teams, and I'm also going to have another friend, another partner on this channel with me to make it 10 times much more fun and easier. Now, tomorrow, this channel is going to be totally rebranded. It's going to cover a new logo, a new naming convention, new insights of what to expect going forward on this channel in the future, as well as I'm going to have another partner on this channel to help make things easier to cover content and just make the entire channel much more fun instead of doing this all on my own. There's a logo in the works that I'm going to be finishing up today. There are many logo names that are considerably going to be the next face of this channel. But just to give you a sense of what we're going to cover, this is what I want to mention in this video for the last OHL 20 YouTube channel. As I mentioned, multiple names for this channel, and we kind of wanted to go with something that's going to represent all leagues, all teams, and something that's going to really make the face of this channel going forward, considering how much success the OHL in 20 YouTube channel had in just the preseason when it was launched. Some of the leagues, just to expect that you're going to see on this channel, we're going to be obviously still covering content with OHL, but it's going to be CHL in general with the WHL and QMJHL. Now, if anyone is just familiar with the OHL and no one really knows what the W and QMJHL is, so the Ontario Hockey League is a junior league in the Canadian Hockey League, but it also makes up two other leagues, the Western Hockey League, and that covers Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, and Western USA. And then the QMJHL, which used to be the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, it's now the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League, and that's teams all over Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. So those are the leagues in the CHL that we will be covering in this next channel. Everyone's familiar with the NHL. I'm a big NHL fan myself. I got the Montreal Canadiens, the Vancouver Canucks, the Edmonton Oilers, and even the Los Angeles Kings for all of you Californian fans. We're going to be covering, obviously, the NHL, but it's going to be based on what's trending. I sent a whole email to my partner who's going to be joining me on this channel yesterday, and I gave him pretty much an example of what we would expect. Now, for any of you Toronto Maple Leaf and Montreal Canadian fans, you would probably know that there's a lot of injuries that have been going on in the preseason for these games, and that's just been covering a majority of the Canadian broadcasts like Sportsnet, TSN, and the list just goes on. So those are maybe one of the top trending news for Canadian broadcasts. Well, then you look to the American broadcasts, and you would have teams like Florida, Colorado, Vegas, and how successful they've been in the past, and would they be in favor of winning another Stanley Cup, which is why this was just an example. But if you compare the inquiries that both Canadian franchises made of, say, the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, or the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, and then how much those final rosters would play out going into the regular season, could they end up being playoff contenders? I mean, you look at the Montreal Canadiens, they just acquired Patrick Laine, except Patrick Laine just got injured for Montreal. Then there was obviously additional injuries for Montreal. I'm not going to mention right now, but you would kind of expect that there are going to be controversial opinions going forward, especially on this channel, if we do cover higher leagues like the NHL, CHL. The other league we're also going to be covering, since they're going to be the affiliate for the NHL, is the AHL, the American Hockey League. And well, they may not be as high as productions like the NHL, but they are certainly very well known to many people, considering people like around the Toronto and Ontario area here the Toronto Marlies, the Belleville Senators, and then of course you have the Laval Rockets, the AHL teams for the Montreal Canadiens, the current Brantford Bulldogs, who used to be the affiliate for the Montreal Canadiens. So those are just some of the leagues we're going to be covering. But also, we are going to be moving a little bit lower than these leagues. We're going to be covering the OJHL, the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Now, I used to work for the Stouffville Spirit of this league, and very close connections with the Markham Royals as well. So we might be covering some videos in terms of this league in particular, since considering that this is Junior A. One team and one league specifically that both me and my partner are going to be working on and covering on this channel specifically is going to be the Uxbridge Bruins, and they are part of the Provincial Junior Hockey League of the PJHL. Both of us work for this team currently. I do videography and content creation for the Bruins, while my partner does play-by-play commentary for the Bruins. So we're going to be covering, post-game, maybe post-game interviews. We're going to have to really see what we can actually cover, because once we cover this team and this league, we're obviously going to need to get permission, not just from our own club, but from the league in general, if we can post current Uxbridge Bruins content onto our current YouTube channel. So that is just some of the leagues and the content that we are going to be covering on this channel. Obviously, there's other multiple leagues out there when it comes to junior hockey. And well, maybe you're in an area where, especially if you're living in the States or you're out in Western or further in the Maritimes of Canada, or maybe there's a specific league that you want us to cover, just let us know and we'll do a video or two on it. Maybe it's the top teams in that league, maybe it's logo rankings, it could be really anything. But just let us know and we'd be happy to cover that content for you. But this is the last video for the OHL in 20 YouTube branding channel. I just want to thank everyone so much for your support. There has just been so much success over the past month since we launched this channel, OHL in 20. This OHL channel was designated to reach multiple fans of the Ontario Hockey League, except I didn't expect it to have so much success that it did. It reached over 1.2K viewers in just 2 to 3 weeks, which is just phenomenal. I had outpouring support from multiple fans around the Ontario Hockey League. Shout out to fans in London, Sarnia, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, and even North Bay. Some of those multiple fans who have been contributing and interacting on this channel has, well, made it to how much success it turned out to be. Now, considering that, there's obviously higher leagues and higher interests of others, so we're going to want to cover the NHL and extensions of the CHL, AHL, and as well as our current team that we're part of, the Uxbridge Bruins. And if we do cover the Uxbridge Bruins, that is really going to grow the popularity for the team overall, because we want to have as much support as we can, especially for a lot of these junior leagues that may not get a lot of recognition for who they are, and some people may not even be familiar of who these particular teams are in the leagues that they play in. So that is just a little recap of what to expect going forward on this channel. But again, thank you everyone so much for your support. Even when we do cover other leagues and teams, we're still going to be covering the Ontario Hockey League. So make sure you stay tuned, because there's going to be a whole new rebrand that goes down with this channel starting tomorrow. And could we maybe see a promo video before we actually release the logo? Well, we're gonna have to wait and see. But until then, be sure to like this video, subscribe, tell your friends, and we will see you very soon.